We've been working with smaller objects that are tool parts and details that are smaller than a sheet of paper. Now when we go to a floor plan or something larger, we're going to take a look at scale factors. The first thing we'll do is save the file. Save the file and name it Assignment 9 and with your name in the file name. Then we can type in units so that we can change the units from decimal to architectural. Type in units and then at the top left change the length type decimal to architectural and pick OK. If I draw a 17-foot line that went across the screen, it would extend beyond the view of this screen because this is only about 40 inches across. That's possible if you want to draw the line and then do a zoom extents to get up into a working space that's large enough for the posted floor plan, which is about 17 feet by 22 feet. Now there are several different ways of extending this working area that we're going to be drawing within, and one is called limits. So let's type in at the command line here, limits, L-I-M-I-T-S, and enter. You'll see in the command line that it says lower left corner. We're going to go ahead and keep the lower left corner as 0, 0 and press enter. And then the upper right corner, which is establishing a lower left and upper right corner for our workspace, is by default only 1 foot over and 9 inches up. Because our floor plan is about 25 feet by 25 feet, we're going to type in 25 feet using the apostrophe that's just to the left of the enter key, 25 feet, comma, 25 feet, and then press enter. And it doesn't look like anything's happened until you actually do what's called a zoom all. Zoom all will zoom to the limits. So if we type in Z and enter, and if you look at your command line, we're going to type in A for all and enter. It still doesn't look like anything's changed, but if you actually use the measure tool that's in the home tab under utilities and you click in space here and you pull your mouse across, you'll see that your working space is now 62 feet across as opposed to the 40 inches plus or minus that you started with. Looking at the posted floor plan, we have layers that we're going to create with the colors. So in the layers panel, we'll pick the layer property icon here at the top left of the layers panel, and we'll pick the new layer icon, which is that sheet of paper with a little sun next to it. We'll type in border, press enter twice, type in dimensions, press enter twice, door, press enter twice, demo for the demolition line, which is going to be that dashed line, press enter twice, and text, enter twice, and walls. And then we're going to change the color based on what it says on the posted drawing. Here we're going to, for the border layer, pick on the word white and change it to blue. Blue is going to be here underneath the index colors. It's color 5. Pick blue and pick OK. Now this is the palette, so the way that I have this set up is that it's rolling back underneath the palette. There's an icon just below the X that if I click on it makes it stay up so that it doesn't roll back. And mine was set up that way. I'm going to highlight the dimension layer and change that to this red down here, color 1. The door layer is green, color 3. Demo layer is green. We'll make the text layer magenta, which is color 6, and then we'll keep the walls as color 7, which is this white color. The other thing that we'll change is we're going to change the demo layer to a different line type. So highlight demo, and then in the line type column, go ahead and click on the word continuous. When you do that, you'll have here a dialog box that shows you that only the continuous line type is loaded. Now we can pick the load button and scroll down to the line type called hidden. Not hidden 2 or hidden X2. You'll see that there are 3 different scales for some of the line types. Highlight hidden and pick OK. We loaded it. Now let's highlight hidden here in this dialog box and pick OK, so that that layer called Demo is changed to the line type hidden. And because we're going to start by drawing the walls, we can double click on this little sheet of paper in front of walls, or just highlight your layer and pick the green check mark so that that layer is current. And right away you'll see in the layer drop down here in the Home tab, the walls layer is current. We can close out the layer property dialog box and now verify that that wall layer is current. Make sure that all of these sun and light bulb icons are yellow and that these locks are unlocked so that we can see our layers and work with them. We're going to use a polyline so that when we create an offset, the whole line all offsets at once. If we drew individual lines and used the offset command, only one line at a time would be offset. So with the polyline, go ahead and pick polyline. Pick a point here somewhere. Pull your mouse to the left. Type in 3 feet and enter. Pull your mouse straight up and type in 14 feet, which is the apostrophe next to the enter key, and enter. We're drawing the inside face of the walls. You can use the wheel of your mouse to pan and zoom if you need to come out a little bit more away from the drawing. To see it, you can pull your mouse to the right, type in 17 feet 11.5. You don't type in the dash or the inches, just 17 feet 11.5 and enter. Pull your mouse straight down and type in 22 feet and enter, and then to the left 14 feet 11.5 and enter. And now I can right click and pick close to close back to the first point that I picked. We're using the 5th and 6th icon at the bottom left corner, the polar tracking and the object snap. Notice that when you put your pointer close to this polyline, the whole thing is highlighted. So now if I pick the offset command in the modify panel, I can type in 4 for the 4-inch wall and enter. Select this polyline and then pick anywhere outside of the polyline to say that that's the direction I'd like the offset to go in, and I have my walls. Right click and pick enter. Let's go ahead and explode these polylines so that they break up into individual pieces again. The explode tool is in the modify panel. It's underneath the erase icon here, and it's explode. Select both of these polylines and enter. Notice when you go close to those lines, now they're not all one piece and connected, but they've been exploded to individual lines. Now I'll start the offset command. Type in 4 feet and enter, making sure that you type in 4 feet. I'm going to select the inside wall here and then pick anywhere below it. Starting the offset command again, I can type in 3 feet and enter, select this new wall, and then pick below it. Right click and pick enter. And now I'm going to use the trim command to trim all of this out. In the modify panel, I'll select trim and then press enter, and you'll be able to pick out the pieces that you don't want. Right click and pick enter. Now that I'm drawing the door, I have to switch to a different layer. So I'm going to drop this list down of layers here. It might not show up in the video, but if you select here this drop down, you'll be able to pick right on the word door and make that layer current. It's a 3-foot door, so we'll start with the line command, and because we have the object snap icon blue down here at the bottom left, I'm going to go close to this endpoint and click. Pull my mouse to the right, type in 3 feet and enter again. So now I have a 3-foot here line basically. Now I'm going to use the Ark Start End Radius. With the Ark Start End Radius, I can pick the start point for my arc at the end of the door, pick the end point of the arc at the other side of the door opening, And then here you have a choice of typing in 3 feet, or actually you can pull your mouse back to the beginning of the door here and click to establish the radius. We're ready to draw our demolition line, which is the hidden line that goes across this floor plan. I'll go ahead and make the demo layer current. And remember, we set up the demo layer as a hidden line. When I start the line command, I'm going to click this corner inside face, pull my mouse over to the other wall and click. Right click and pick enter. It doesn't look hidden or dashed because this is a much larger drawing. A smaller drawing will have a smaller dashed line. A larger drawing needs to be increased in scale in order to see the dashed line. Notice that when I zoom real close to it, I can see the little dashed lines. So I need to increase the scale of that line. I can do that by typing in LT scale, all one word, LTSCALE, and enter. And then for the new LT scale, you can refer to the scale factor sheet that I've posted online. This drawing will be plotted at 1/4 inch equals a foot, which establishes a scale factor of 48. So I'll type in 48 and enter, and notice that now I can see my dashed line. So I've increased the scale of that hidden line 48 times the size, or at least to something that's visible. The larger the drawing, the larger the text, dimensions, hidden lines, and border. Let's take a look at placing the border. We can change the layer to border, and then if we draw a small 8.5 by 11 border off to the side, I'm going to start the line command, pick a point, pull your mouse to the right, type in 8.5 and enter, pull your mouse up, type in 11 and enter, pull your mouse to the left, type in 8.5 and enter, and then right click and pick close. I could have also used the rectangle command, but here I wanted to show you by using lines that if we drew a sheet of paper that's 8.5 by 11, it's small compared to this large floor plan. Instead of scaling the larger drawing down to the sheet size, we're going to scale our border up to a larger scale. And that scale factor is based on the plot scale. So if I know that I'm plotting this drawing at 1/4 inch equals a foot, I can just look at this chart that I've posted online and see that at 1/4 inch equals a foot plot scale, my scale factor is 48. So this is a guide that some companies use, 48. You can make it whatever number you'd like to increase the scale. Check to see what the company standards are so that you can work within those scale factors. On this posted sheet, I'm outlining for you the line types, which we already did, LT scale, the text, which is basically 48 times the scale, the dimensions, which we'll look at, and for borders and model space, we're going to increase the scale by the scale factor. So going back to our drawing, we can use the scale command to scale this small sheet of paper 48 times the size. In the modify panel, select the scale command, select all 4 of these lines that make up your small sheet of paper, and then enter. Pick a base point that's close to this sheet of paper at the bottom left corner here, or at the bottom left corner. Type in 48 and enter. You'll notice that that small sheet of paper now is 48 times the size. If you select these 4 lines and then hold your left mouse button down on the line of the border, not inside the blue grips, you can hold your left mouse button down and drag and drop those 4 lines so that you're positioning the border around the floor plan.